It was a sunny afternoon. It was warm enough to go outside without a jacket. However, that wasn't the most peculiar thing on April 21st of 2027. One thing happened on the most unsuspecting street. In a small town in Kansas, in a small townhouse, Nathaniel and his daughter visited Nathaniel's parents. Nathaniel's daughter Marisha wasn't very excited to visit them because she hated her father. This hatred was born because Nathaniel didn't exactly love his daughter. In his eyes, she robbed him of his social life as a young adult. As a matter of fact, he only took Marisha with him because his parents insisted to see his 16-year-old daughter again, after what seemed like ages to them. However, she would early on straight up tell them that she wanted to go home again. She didn't even hide the fact that she hated being around any of the three adults. It was 6 in the afternoon when they finally stepped out of the house, ready to go home. As Nathaniel looks to his left, however, he sees something he can't believe. There is what he thinks is a man with a black and purple, very futuristic looking suit. He raises his hand and creates a blue purplish light. But before Nathaniel could react, the man shot an energy blast at him, but Nathaniel could evade. The man tries to charge again, but before he could shoot again, a guy with a not as futuristic suit comes through a portal and kicks the other man 5 feet away. The guy takes off his helmet to reveal his identity as being Nathaniel, but from the future. The futuristic man stands up and says,
"You again. I don't have time for you. You just come here. Again and again. Don't you have other problems? Why won't you realize it's the only right choice?"
He uses energy to do a flurry of punches to beat future Nathaniel to the ground. Whilst all of this happens, present Nathaniel and Marisha are struck. They can't make sense of what's happening. Future Nathaniel stands up again. The man who attacked both Nathaniel screams,
"Do you know how many of you I've killed? How many times I've won this exact battle? I am Venge. When do you learn that you can't win?"
With a sword in hand, future Nathaniel starts charging at Venge. But Venge cuts his sword in half using energy blades. One punch to the face of future Nathaniel, and he lies on the floor again. Venge puts his foot on the chest of Nathaniel, right atop where his heart is located.
"This time, you won't come back,"
he says, while he uses a laser to burn future Nathaniel out of existence. He looks up at present Nathaniel and his daughter, who step into their car and try to escape. Venge, however, starts flying behind them, using 2 lasers to destroy everything in his path. The two manage to reach a river, but Venge just walks into the river, and with purple lightning shining in the water, a huge shockwave occurs which sends the water from the river flying through the air. This gives Venge the advantage, because Nathaniel doesn't know where Venge is. While they try to escape, one drone comes out of the suit of the dead future Nathaniel. This drone then teleports both Nathaniel and his daughter to a random bunker, where Venge wouldn't find them. In that bunker, Nathaniel and Marisha waited and waited. It seemed like an eternity, however no longer than a week passed since the incident.
Why? Why would he?
Marisha stuttered.
"It's okay, Marisha. I will try to save you. You mean so much to me."
Nathaniel reassured her. Suddenly, Nathaniel had an idea. Perhaps a spark of hope. Hope to escape the nightmare, to escape the madness. Maybe, just maybe, to kill Venge. Nathaniel started working on a time-shifting machine. At least that's how he called it. Days and nights passed. Countless, sleepless nights. Soon, days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and those months turned into 1 year. 1 year of constant thinking, trying to remember the details of future Nathaniel's suit. Then, exactly 1 year and 7 days after the incident, Nathaniel was able to replicate the time-shift suit worn by his future self. He has one chance at saving his past self and his past daughter from that time-traveling madman. And there he is, April 21st, 2027. Instinctively, he kicks Venge 5 feet away. He takes off his helmet to reveal himself to his past self. However, Venge stands up. But before he could say anything, Nathaniel fires a shot from the plasma caster. He mounted on his shoulder. Nathaniel loses no time and lands multiple hits on Venge. Then, Nathaniel was able to fire a blast strong enough to kill Venge. He did it. He saved himself. Himself and his daughter. Happy, he returned to his time, into the bunker. There he saw his daughter. She cried. Nathaniel teared up.
I did it.
It's been 10 years since Nathaniel killed Venge. On April 21st Street of 2027, Nathaniel was praised as the man who invented time travel, and he did. In a bunker, with a bunch of scrubs with very limited food, from the smartest to the richest, he met them all. However, he was still the same, caring about himself more than about his daughter. If he wasn't there April 21st, he wouldn't have even cared. It's just his daughter who took what he wanted the most, going to parties and enjoying his nights with women he didn't know even existed an hour earlier. That is exactly the way of life he resumed. Marisha wasn't amused by this. She thought he had changed in that bunker, but no, he was the egoistic bastard she knew. She studied more and more, and she found a way to create a power source strong enough to dethrone her father, and to show him that he means nothing anymore. All of that while he was still bragging about his invention. Soon, he realized what his daughter was doing and confronted her.
Why would you want to do that to me? Haven't I given enough? You are just jealous that I have invented time shift and not you, that I have a partner I love. You had to ruin it for me, as always.
Nathaniel's partner saw this and tried to defuse the situation. However, it didn't work. Marisha just looked at him and said,
You know what? Maybe Venge should have killed you.
After that, she turned to Nathaniel's partner and fired an energy blast from the suit she made with the energy core she invented, killing Nathaniel's partner within a second. Furious, Nathaniel looked at her and screamed something so loud no one could have understood just a single word. Not that anyone would have wanted to hear that. Marisha just flew away without saying a word. Nathaniel just stood up and designed a new suit. He knew exactly what it should look like.
She will die for that. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But nothing's going to change that. I will get my revenge.
That was the birth of Venge. It wasn't hard to find Marisha. As it turns out, a power core strong enough to create enough power to fuel an entire continent is easy to locate. With his new suit, he flew over to the coordinates he knew she was at, and there she was. Without hesitating, he shot her in the chest. He looked at her and said,
I am Venge, and I will burn you out of time.
After saying this, he left that time and found himself on April 21st of 2027. He knew he had to erase her here, because it was the only time where the magnetic fields aligned so perfectly that it was possible to cut someone out of every timeline. And he did.